Welcome to the Network Build Grow podcast, the show where business owners, entrepreneurs, and professionals share their stories, lessons learned, and powerful strategies for building relationships and growing their circle of influence. With Melissa Taylor, your host, each week we'll bring you actionable insights to help you build a better network and a better business. Let's dive in.
We are excited to have Alison Simmons with us here today.
Hi, guys. So excited to be here, Melissa. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So let's just kind of dive right in. I mean, I know a lot about your business, but I want you to explain to everybody why you started your business. What was kind of the turning point for you?
Oh, gosh. Well, that's actually a really funny story. So I have 5 kids and I am five. I am a highly ambitious woman. And when I had my first 2 children, I was actually teaching. I was a high school math teacher. And when kid number 3 came along, my husband was like, hey, maybe you stay at home. Maybe there's just a lot going on and you stay at home. And I was like, okay, sounds good. So I stopped teaching and then we had 2 more kids. So I now had 5 kids at home. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being a mom. I am, however, saying as a highly ambitious woman, I struggled with just being a stay-at-home mom. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so for the 15 years I was home, I was always doing a side hustle. I had a blog, I had a podcast, I had a direct sales empire selling chemical-free cleaning products, right? Like I always had an Etsy store, something constantly happening because that entrepreneurial bug lives in me. And so when kid number 5 finally went to kindergarten, I looked at my husband and I was like, hey, I've got all these skills. What if people actually paid me to help them run their business? And he was like, as long as you can stay home in case someone gets sick, right? Like go for it. Because he ran his own company at that time. Mm-hmm. So I went in, started off at freelancing and eventually went into online business management. And that was because I just was kind of like jack of all trades and knew all the things. And that was what kind of launched me into that direction.
That's great. So now it's morphed into something much different now, because I know that you have jumped on with AI with both feet. And also the automations and all the things. So tell me how you've gone from an online business manager to what you're doing today.
Yeah. So the story gets even more fun when my husband decided 3 months after I landed my first client that he was like, hey, my business is sucking the life out of me. You've been wanting me to get out of it for 4 years. What if I shut my business down? We sold everything we own. We bought an RV and started traveling across the country while you worked online.
With 5 kids?
Well, with 3 of them. 2 of them were already in college. 2 had left. 2 had flown the coop. So we had 3. Okay. And so that was May of 2022. Mm-hmm. By November, we were pulling out of our driveway for the very last time. And we were adventuring, and I was running a business, and we were homeschooling all at the same time. And so when AI became a thing, you can bet your bottom I was like, I need to learn how to use that because I don't have a lot of time. I got to get stuff done. And so in the beginning, I did it like everyone else, Instagram captions and brainstorming, right? That's what we were all using it for. Mm-hmm. But I very quickly reached a breaking point in my business where I was managing 4 clients and 2 of them had essentially handed me their business. And they were like, here, you run it. We're going to go off and do other things. Like you run our business. And so AI stopped being a fun copywriter and became like an actual strategic partner for me, where I was having conversations about strategy and systems. And I didn't realize it was unique until I would get on a coffee chat and somebody would say something about AI and I'd be like, oh, you know what I did yesterday? And they'd be like, you can do that with AI? And I'm like, doesn't everybody do that with AI? But nobody was, because they didn't have that need like I did. And so Bernie DeSantis and I did my very first event in November of 2023, where I taught people 4 ways to use AI as a strategic thought partner, not just a content creator or a brainstorming buddy. Mm-hmm. And people went nuts. And so in January of 2024, I launched my business, my January 2025, I launched my program. And then for over a year now, I've been teaching people how to use AI to manage their business using AI rather than hiring a really expensive business manager.
Yeah. So that includes actually building agents, what they call AI agents, right?
Yep. Okay. Yep. So my focus is mainly, I've got the Notion bug, and I've fallen head over heels in love with Notion. And if you used Notion a decade ago and hated it, it's brand new. You should use it again. It's a whole new ballgame because the way that they've started to integrate AI. So now I'm building out these. Whole thing was always build your AI powered business. Now I'm saying build your AI powered business inside of Notion, because I can teach you how to basically hire little AI employees inside of Notion that cost $24 a month for all of them.
Yeah, which is incredible. So that's great. So you have programs. You have an academy, I think you put people through. Do you work with people one-on-one as well? Or?
I do. So it all started with the program. And I was just doing that. And then I had a woman show up to one of my webinars, and she's like, I love what you're doing. I don't want to spend 12 weeks in a group program. Can't we just meet one-on-one and I'll just pay you more money? And I was like, yeah, sure can. So the program launched January, one-on-one launched April, and I started meeting with people one-on-one. And then even that has now spiraled into VIP days. So it's like, you can do a 12-week program, you can do a one-on-one 5-session, or you could do a fire hose to the face VIP session. And like, I just set you up, teach you a few, party tricks, and send you on your way. So.
Yeah, that's great. That's wonderful. So what do you want to do with it next? Like, what's on the horizon for Lead Smarter Co?
So here is my passion. Because I have 2 kids in college, I have a daughter who's now in high school. They are not learning how to use AI. AI is like, in education, it's like, don't touch it. You're not allowed. It kills creativity. It's too easy to cheat, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, yeah, if you use AI at a surface level, it is all those things. But what I think is super sad, particularly for my college age kids, they are graduating with degrees that are going to do them no good in 2 years because they know nothing about AI. And companies want people that are savvy in using AI. And so my thing is like, I want to get into colleges. I want to get into high schools, and I want to start teaching kids how to use AI, not to take away their personality or creativity, but to amplify it so that now they can go into the job space and be like, I can do the work of 5 employees for just me because I know how to outsource my own brain into AI. So I would love to be able to get into that space.
That's great. What a great place to be. So now you no longer travel on the road. How long did you do that for?
2.5 years.
2.5 years all over the country?
Well, we stayed on the western side of the United States. We started in Indiana, and we crawled across the southern border, and then we went straight up to Northern California. And I got to a point where I looked at my husband. I was like, I can't homeschool anymore. I can't homeschool and adventure and run a business. Someone's going to die, and it won't be me. It'll probably be one of the children. So we decided to actually stay on my in-laws' property in Northern California, which is the most gorgeous. Oh my gosh. Like, Shasta Mountain is incredible. So we parked the RV, and it became our home base. And then we would adventure. We'd go on a 16-day road trip. We'd go on a weekend to the coast. So we started doing these little mini adventures instead of road tripping constantly. So that we could put the kids in school, because Mama was done with homeschooling.
Mama was done. Yes. And where are you now? Where do you call home now?
Now we're in Northern Texas. We've, when we got, Abigail was ready for high school, we was like, it's time to get back into, a house without wheels. We need a little bit more stability. And so we all, during our road trips, fell in love with Texas and Oklahoma. So we live on the border. You could spit from our house and hit Oklahoma. That's how close we are. We literally spent this last weekend. We went into Oklahoma to go hiking for the weekend.
That's so great.
We love it here. This is where we decided to be home base for at least another decade.
Yeah. So you have just one at home now?
No. Still have 3.
You still have the 3.
High school, middle school, grade school.
High school, middle school, and grade school, and 2 are in college, or have they now graduated?
They're in college now. Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, well, wonderful. So that's a lot. That's a lot going on. You have a lot going on and you've got more energy. I've actually attended some of your things and you have a ton of energy and a ton of information that you give. So definitely people that are listening, make sure you get connected with her for some of her stuff. But let's talk about how networking has played a part, because being kind of a nomad, so to speak, you obviously didn't go knocking on the door at your local place to get business. How have you used networking during?
Oh my word. So because I'm a people person and I need to engage, and my husband can only take so much because he's an introvert and he doesn't know anything about the online business space. So it's like all Greek to him. I went seeking for networking groups. And of course I was trying to get started on LinkedIn because I was like, that's where my ideal client lives. Well, I came across a group called Success Champion Networks, which is a LinkedIn-based networking group. And this is super funny. I went on their website and there was a typo in the video on their YouTube cover, on their main thing. And I was like, if that were my business, you could bet I'd want someone to tell me I had a big fat typo in my title. So I immediately reached out to Donnie, who runs the program. And I was like, hey, just wanted to let you know, I was scoping out your stuff. You have a typo on the main video on your homepage. By the way, I want to check out one of your groups, but you have so many of them. Which one makes the most sense for me? And I kind of gave him that whole thing. Like I'm a nomad. I don't have a home base. There is no like local chapter for me to join. Right. So he sent me to Growth Mode Engage, which is a national chapter. I showed up the first time and I was like, oh my gosh, these are my people. I loved the energy. I loved the vibe. And it was really funny because I was like a baby entrepreneur at that point. Like I think I had like 97 LinkedIn connections. Like, it was really pathetic. I had nothing because I was really just getting started with my business. And so they took a chance on me only because like that's normally like they wouldn't let you in. You don't have an established company. But because I was so eager and I was so excited and my energy level just struck them so much that they kind of let me in sort of like a gamble. But it's paid off in spades. 6 weeks later, I was on the leadership team. And
of course you were.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. But I was going to say that group alone has I shouldn't say alone. That group has been a substantial reason why in 2.5 years, my company is now 6 figures and my name has become the name that has been spread around their 400 members. And I'm constantly getting introductions.
That's great. That's great. I know they have several chapters and they're all online. Well, they have some that meet in person, but they're basically all
right. Yeah.
And then you actually got connected to Network Build Grow through some of the people in that networking group. So tell me about that.
Yeah. So really fun. So Julie Trombley was also on the leadership team when I was on it, and she's a part of Network Build Grow. And she was like, I know you love, SCN, but like, I've got this other group I'm a part of and it's totally different. You should come check out a huddle. And I'm like, I don't know what a huddle is, but I'm down. Let's do it. And so I joined and had so much fun that first time because the way you ran your networking event, it felt very mastermind. It did not feel like networking. It was like being part of a group of people who were just, what are you struggling with? Who's got insights? And though you are the leader of the meeting, you don't monopolize it like I'm the wise sage and I'm dishing out advice, right? Like everyone's feeding into everybody. And I had so much fun that day. And I actually, I think I walked away with it with like 5 more coffee chats with people to meet. And instantly I was like, well, now I want to be part of this group too. And what's super neat is that Network Build Grow functions completely differently than SCN. So I don't feel like it's competing. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm doing the same thing in 2 different places. No. It's 2 completely different groups run in 2 completely different ways and serves 2 completely different purposes. Yeah. It's been awesome.
Yeah, I've gone to some of the SCN meetings and I love them. And I wish I had more time to go to more of them because they're different.
Let me introduce you to the Speaker League, where great leaders are made. It's a community built around world-class speakers, real training, and the kind of opportunities that put you in front of a room and dare you to own it. Everything you need to go from good to unforgettable. Train, speak, win. The stage is yours. Your voice, Your moment, your stage. Join now at thespeakerleague.com.
So would you say that, obviously, I think I know the answer to this, but networking has 100% built your business?
Oh my gosh, 1,000%.
Yeah.
1,000%.
People, I was actually like marketing, traditional marketing of any kind.
No, I mean, the webinar funnel is my lead gen funnel, but even that, because Bernie, who's the president of Growth Mode Engaged, is a virtual events producer. The whole reason I even did a webinar is because he approached me and he's like, I'm just going to say it. You were meant to do events. And as a former teacher, like it just happens naturally. And so like for the expert to come to me and be like, oh my gosh, you were made for this. Just let me know when you're ready to pull the trigger. I want to help you. Mm-hmm. And then he and I have worked together ever since. And then he's also been the biggest paid event. I got a $10,000 gig from from the biggest association for small businesses in the state of Michigan because of Bernie.
That's great.
And we've done it more than once. You know what I mean? And like, so not only was he the one that is the catalyst for my lead gen that has been building my business for 1.5 years, but he's like single-handedly brought me the most cash for a one-time deal. Like it's been insane.
Yeah, that's great. Well, as a speaker strategist, I'm a big fan of the webinar funnel and the speaking funnels. So I love it. And Bernie and I have done some things together as well. He is a great producer. So that's wonderful. All right, let's do some rapid fire questions. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready. Hit me.
Okay. First thing that pops into your mind. How can AI power your networking?
Ooh, how can AI power your networking? Well, the way I use it is because it tracks all of my calls. And then immediately after a call that I recorded, I could be like, all right, number one, is this an ideal client? Number two, who did I say I was going to refer them to? Quick, help me make the introduction.
Give me a to-do list.
Right. So it does. I mean, I use AI to help me stay in touch with people and to help me stay relevant. If I got off a call, I blink and I have 5 other calls lined up that day. I don't remember. At the end of the day, I can go back to my AI assistant and be like, review all my calls today. Remind me, what tasks do I need to do? Who do I need to refer? Who do I need to follow up with? Who do I need to put in the possible lead gen funnel? And it organizes all of it for me. So it really is I call it the intern, right? It's the intern that sits inside of all my conversations and take notes for me at the end of the day. It's like, hey, Alison, here's everything that you need to get done based on all the calls you had with people today that you met. Great. Thanks, AI. By the way, my AI's his name is Albert, after Albert Einstein.
Oh, that's so great. I think everybody should name their AI. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Okay. So let's do another one. You're involved pretty heavily with just 2 groups. It sounds
well, I have a third one as well. That's a Facebook group. That's a Facebook based group.
Okay. So what do you think is too much and what do you think is too little as far as like getting involved?
I think too much is when you make commitments that you can't be fully present for. Mm-hmm. So I can do 3 networking groups because I am a very committed person and I like that time is blocked off on my calendar as an appointment. Nobody books in. If I reach a point where my calendar is so full that I can't make those commitments, now it's too much. So that's number one. I think that's the most obvious. Yeah. Don't commit to something you're not actually going to be committed to. But number 2, I think that too much versus not enough is like, are you getting any ROI? Like, are you meeting the people that are either direct clients or are opening doors for you to direct clients? And if the ROI isn't there, I don't care how great the people are. I don't care if you can come every week. It's not worth it. And sometimes that's really hard because you have to say no to things that you're like, oh, but I like those people. Mm-hmm. Well, great. But if it's been 6 months and you haven't gotten a single introduction that's opened another door for you, that's not a good fit.
Yeah. Or learn something significant to run your business better or something.
Right. Exactly.
All kinds of different ROI. Yeah.
Yeah. But the ROI in the end, bottom line, have I made any money based on who I've met or what I've learned? Right. Is the best way to put it.
Right. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. If you could give one piece of advice to someone who has never networked before, what would it be?
Oh gosh. don't be scared of feeling stupid, because we all feel that way on day one. Like every time you walk into a room full of people you don't know, everyone feels awkward. So it's normal and you have to fight through it. Not everybody is an extrovert like me that can walk into a room and walk out with 5 best friends. That's just naturally what I do. However, if you walk into the room and you stay silent and you walk out knowing nobody, that's not going to grow your business. And so you have to accept the fact that no matter how extroverted you are, you're going to feel awkward. We all do. And number 2, if you walk out without anybody's name, you didn't give it the best that you could. You need to walk out with at least one person's name who you're going to follow up with afterwards, and then actually do it.
Yeah. Now, a lot of your networking is online. You
All
don't
of
actually
it.
go in rooms. So
Correct.
what does that look like online? Like when you say walk into a room, though you're walking into a room online now, and not everybody can talk at the same time. So how does it work online for you?
So perfect example would be showing up and engaging when you're given the opportunity. So if it's so like when I went to your huddle and you kind of did a round table where, oh gosh, I can't even remember the gentleman's name, but he's a sales guy. I want to say he's in Sales Accelerator or something.
Probably Gary.
And yes, Gary. And he was like, well, I just want to like kind of share what it is that I do. And I want to know if you guys get it. Like what do you get? And he shared his intro bio. And you were like, all right, guys, like who wants to share what they heard? And I immediately raised my hand and I just said back to Gary, based on what you said, here's what I know about you. And here's what I would assume you're doing for your clients. And he's like, oh my gosh, that was amazing. That's exactly what I was trying to do. And I'm like, great, that's what I heard. Perfect. I didn't have to. I could have kept my mouth shut and let someone else do it, but I didn't. I engaged immediately. And now Gary's like, I want to talk to Alison. And you know what? He and I met after that call.
Yeah. I think that's so important because so many times we get on some of our online calls and somebody will never say a word.
Yes.
And I'm like, this is a time for you to actually showcase your knowledge even.
Yeah.
And also just to let people get to know you as a human.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's very important.
And I think underutilized is engaging in the chat. You know, even if you don't feel brave enough to come off mute or you don't feel it's appropriate, asking questions. Hey, that was a great comment. Great point. I do that too. I've never tried that. Engaging in the chat is a safe way to engage. And the more your name comes up in the chat, the more noticeable you become. And so I'm constantly dropping stuff in the chat. And I also think it encourages the person who's speaking, right? Because then they feel like, oh, okay, well, Alison's paying attention. I don't feel like I'm talking to a room full of people that are, you know, watching YouTube videos of cats, you know, on the side.
Yeah, on the side. And that brings up another point. I think when people are on online networking things, online ever, turn your video on.
Yes.
Like, do not show up to a networking event and be a blank screen because no one's going to remember you. No one. Even if you talk, no one's going to remember.
We're going to assume that you don't care and you don't want to be there.
Exactly. Well, this has been a wonderful conversation, and I'm so excited to send people your way for more AI because you are fabulous at all the things. And so thank you for being with us today.
Thanks so much.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning into this episode of the Network Build Grow podcast. If you enjoyed today's conversation, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a fellow entrepreneur or professional. And of course, if you're not yet part of our community, visit networkbuildgrow.com to connect with us. Until next time, keep building and keep growing.